5 years and still talking. This is GAVNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Picture of me yet, because I'll do that in about 25 minutes from right now. But meanwhile, we got to go check in with one of the people we normally check in with. All right, it's time for us to go out and make a call that we like to make every now and then. We call out to Stephen Pearl. Let's see here. I've got to what am I just tried to call him? Here we go. Wait a minute. There we go. Oh, it should ring in a second. There we go. There we go. Mm-hmm.
Hey, kids, if you don't smoke pot, don't start. It really won't lead anywhere. But if you do smoke pot, look for something called Urkel Bud. It kicks ass, man! Hello, everybody! North America and all the ships at sea.
What were you doing? Your best Jack Webb don't do dope routine?
Oh, if I'm going to do Jack Webb, I'd say maybe you like taking LSD, that magic sugar cube, freaking out, blowing your mind and taking the trip. Well, there's another kind of magic cube that'll take you on a trip, son. The library's full of them. They're called books. Da-da-da-da. See, if I was going to do Jack Webb, I'd say maybe you think marijuana is harmless. Maybe you think it won't hurt you at all. Maybe you can call it anything you want. Weed, reefer, grass, tea, muggles. But let me tell you something. Every time we find a body in a back alley, OD'd on smack, we find 3 sticks of Mary Jane in the pocket. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, long-haired hippie. See, I would do that.
You would do that, yeah.
Yeah.
He was, in many ways, the worst actor in the world.
Oh, he was so bad, he was wonderful.
Yeah, well, actually, when he first started out, everybody thought of his acting as being great because it was this understated acting, you know?
Well, in Sunset Boulevard, his short part, he actually showed emotion. Hey, come to the party. In fact, he was giving a party, a New Year's party. He was a wild cat. Yeah. And then something between that and the late 50s when he became a cop, his spirit died.
Well, you know where he started was in San Francisco.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yes, he started in San Francisco, and he did a show at, I think it was NBC in San Francisco. Uh-huh. I know he did it out of the big NBC building there. Uh-huh. And it was called Pat Novak for Hire.
Pat Novak for Hire.
And it first
very monotone.
Yeah, did that monotone, understated acting
sure.
on radio. Uh-huh. And then he used that as the template for Dragnet. And I don't know whether he first did Dragnet in San Francisco or whether he then moved to L.A. and sold the idea of Dragnet to them based on his success with Pat Novak for Hire. So.
I get it. Well, Dragnet was originally based in San Francisco, but, during the story, none of the cops could find a parking space, so they moved it to L.A.
Yeah.
We went to the station on Market Street, but there was no parking, so we went to the station on O'Farrell Street. There was still no parking, so we parked anyway and gave ourselves a ticket.
You know, in those days, you could park in San Francisco, to tell you the truth.
That's true.
Yeah, although I wouldn't know.
In those days, you could pay your rent in San Francisco.
I didn't drive in those days because I was still a kid. And I didn't drive till later on when we moved to Marin County. But did my father have a car in San Francisco? That's what I'm trying to remember. I think he did. Yeah, we had a Hudson. Yeah. And we always found a parking place right outside our apartment on Telegraph Hill. You know.
Oh, that was a long time ago. I think the only time there was parking in San Francisco was before they invented cars.
Actually, San Francisco was pretty easy to park in back in those days. It really was. And you know, a lot of the transportation, my major form of transportation, when we would decide we were going to go what we called downtown, which was Market Street, from our place in Telegraph Hill, we walked down to the cable car. And then we just hopped on the cable car and took it all the way down to the bottom, down to Market Street, and then we spent my mother would spend the whole day shopping on Market Street.
You know. There you go.
And I would go with her as a kid, and we would always take the cable car.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, when I first moved here in '79, I didn't have a car, so public transportation pretty much took me everywhere I wanted to go. And the bus, I think, was a quarter until 1980, and then it was 50 cents. It's like $48 now. But.
Well, the cable car used to be a functional piece of machinery that got you from one place to another. It was a very good form of transportation. But what happened as the years went on, it became so iconic to San Francisco that the only people that would get on the cable car were tourists.
Exactly, yeah.
But the trick was the tourists would get on it at Fisherman's Wharf, and then they would take it up maybe about 5 blocks until they were tired of being on the cable car. Okay, they wouldn't take it all the way to Market Street. So if you caught it a little way up, you could get on the cable car. But prior to that, you couldn't. And those were the days when you could, if you were on a cable car, stand on the outside of the cable car and just hang on to it. Because it went so slow that if you fell off it, you weren't going to hurt yourself.
Yeah, sure.
But and I loved doing that when I was a kid. It was like standing on the but you can't do that anymore. They won't let you.
Oh, yeah, it's a tourist thing. I remember once I got a car, I hated the cable car. I'd be stuck behind them or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think from 82 to 84, they were working on them, and they shut them down. There were no cable cars in San Francisco.
Well,
and those were 2 of the happiest years of my life.
There were 2 cable car lines. There was the one that went from like Lombard Street or something. Not Lombard Street. What was it? What's the street where Van Ness? From down about a block from Van Ness, and then all the way up the hill, and then down the hill. And then there was another one that went in the opposite direction from Fisherman's Wharf to Market Street. Yeah. And then there was a third one, but it was taken out of service back in, I think, the 30s. But I actually have a film of that subway.
Wow!
And riding on that subway, yeah, they were strange little cable cars. Excuse me. I've been living in New York too long. The cable cars in those days were a 2-piece deal. The front was kind of the locomotive, as it were, and then the back was the place where people sat. And they could be detached from each other. Yeah. But those were the original cable cars.
See, way before my time. I remember the ones that just used to slow me down when I was behind them in my car.
But eventually they just became the symbol of Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco tree.
Exactly. Yeah, it's for the tourists. It's like a stagecoach. They're kind of useless. It's just like a trademark. So they keep them around. I think they got rid of the mimes, though, at Fisherman's Wharf. I think they all died off, which is a good thing, because the last few times I was there, I saw nobody in whiteface pretending to get out of an invisible box.
Yeah. Actually, when I was growing up in San Francisco on Telegraph Hill, I just found it wonderful. Just found it wonderful. My school was right across the street, Garfield School. And it was a great little.
Sure. It was a great place to grow up. It was a wonderful place when I moved there and in the '80s and everything. I love living there.
And then all of a sudden, what happened was the Chinese moved in.
Why those dirty?
Yeah, they kind of took over the neighborhood. They started buying everything up.
Yeah, there you go.
And they started buying
subdivide.
all the apartment houses. And then what they wanted to put in the apartment houses were their relatives. They didn't want you in there. So, every month we get a knock on the door. You gonna move? You gonna move?
You got 5 days. Use this Battleship Gray paint. Use this paint. Very cheerful. Battleship Gray.
Yeah. So anyway, what we did is we eventually, because of that, were kind of forced to move out. And my grandparents died and left us a home in Mill Valley. So we moved to Mill Valley temporarily. And then my father said, this is bullshit. I don't want to be in Mill Valley. And so we moved to San Anselmo. He got a home in San Anselmo. And that's where I grew up in my teenage years. So, But I remember
your doo-wop years in San Anselmo.
But I remember on Telegraph Hill, lying in my bedroom, and I would look out the window, and out the window was Coit Tower.
Wow.
Just right there, looming. I mean, huge, right?
Yeah, sure.
And I would talk to Coit Tower. I would have. Yeah, I had a relationship with Coit Tower. I was obsessed by Coit Tower. I now know why, but since reading Freud, but you know.
Well, it didn't tell you to do anything bad. Kill Pete Best. Kill Pete Best. Yes, Coit Tower. I will do your bidding. Thank God the Transamerica building isn't talking to you.
Well, they never knew what Coit Tower was supposed to be because it was just there. It's just, if you see it, folks, it's just this tower that's on top of Telegraph Hill. It's a beautiful edifice. But it was built by Lily Hitchcock Coit. And her big thing was she used to like to dress up as a guy and dress up as a guy and go down and pass herself off as a fireman.
Yeah, she had a thing for firemen. I know that.
She had a thing for firemen. And and by the way, firemen must get a lot of pussy, because I knew women who were just, every time they would see a fireman, they would like get wet. Okay. Yep. But anyway,
they're the bravest of the brave. Yeah, God bless them.
I went with one woman who every now and then I had to leave her off at this fire station, and she was literally fucking her way through the fire station.
Firefighters deserve all the pussy. Yeah. They deserve all of it.
Yeah,
for what they do.
For what they do. Yeah.
For what we do, we deserve none of it. They deserve all of it.
I don't know if their wives would agree, but
that's what they do when it's under their business. They got nothing to do with it.
Yeah. So anyway, she built this. She built this tower, Coit Tower, as a testament, as a tribute to the firemen of San Francisco. Uh-huh. And she says it's supposed to represent a fire hose nozzle.
Yes, I've heard that. It does kind of resemble one, but I don't know if that's the case.
It looks like a giant penis, if you want my opinion.
Not even Jewish.
Yeah. But anyway, they said nobody's ever done a movie about Lily Hitchcock Coit. She really was quite an interesting character,
I smell a vehicle from Melissa McCarthy.
I don't know. I think Lily Hitchcock Coit was better looking than Melissa McCarthy.
Was she? I don't know. I don't know if anyone was good looking back then. All the pictures I see, everyone looks like they have bowel problems. They're pissed off and scowling. That's because it probably took 20 minutes to take a picture.
Let me see here. Lily Hitchcock.
Wrong Hitchcock.
Here we go. Lily Hitchcock Coit. She wasn't a bad-looking woman. She was kind of the pictures they have of her are matronly, but the pictures on the page of her have her, for instance, in a fireman's hat.
Yeah.
As an example, and she was very hot for the firemen. She was kind of a little on the goofy-looking side, I guess.
Well, she was after men of a respectable vocation, which is good. It's better than going after, an axe murderer or a cannibal or something.
Yeah.
She's like fireman. She's a fireman groovy.
Does it say anything here about her?
Didn't have your rock stars back then.
Coit was fascinated by firefighters from a young age, 15, in 1858. She reportedly witnessed the Knickerbocker Engine Company 5 respond to a fire on call at Telegraph Hill, and when they were shorthanded, helped them get up the hill ahead of other competing engine companies. Sources differ when this happened, blah, 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 blah. She was thereafter treated as a mascot of the firefighters, and after her return from Europe in October of 1863, she made an honorary member of the engine company. She's then rode along with the firefighters, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And the Coit left 1/3 of her estate to San Francisco to be expended in an appropriate manner for the purpose of adding to the beauty of the city, which I always loved. The city used this bequest to build Coit Tower on Telegraph Hill, so she didn't really build it herself.
How about that?
But who knows? I like the myth. The myth is nice.
Yeah.
Do you miss San Francisco?
They said in the man who shall liberty balance, when the legend outweighs the truth, print the legend.
Exactly. So do you miss San Francisco?
I have the scenery, but not really. I'm working here, and I have a lot of friends here, and I have friends who don't live here. I see them pass through town, so I'm busy when I want to be, and I stay at home and do nothing when I don't want to do nothing.
By the way,
so,
in case people...
No, not really. No, I don't miss the rents, and the scenery is nice, but I can live without it for right now.
People don't know, but Steve lives in Las Vegas, you say...
Swinging Sin City, baby, Las Vegas by the sea. Come join me.
Is it? I guess it's a good place for an older comic to go.
A lot of guys with gray hair, men and women with older people working on the stage here. So yeah, I think it's where older comics go to finish their careers and die. It's like Miami Beach for Jews. So I happen to be both. So I can go either place, but I like Las Vegas.
Vegas.
So. No, there's a lot of rooms here. I haven't even discovered like 1/20th of them yet, and there's just a lot of good, nice, funny people here working. So I'm starting to be one of them. So I like it here very much. The city is growing. San Francisco really can't grow anymore unless you're a multimillionaire.
Any other town, if you're an older comic, okay.
You're finished.
You're finished. You're finished.
Yeah.
Clubs won't hire you over what, 35, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think the comedy stores are looking at anyone over 40. Maybe very few exceptions, but it's over, man.
But
so you come out here.
That's not happening in Vegas. In other words, in Vegas, there is no age prejudice.
Not really. Just do a good job, and they'll use you. That's what I can see anyway. A lot of comics my age, which is great. I'm not hanging out with a bunch of 22-year-olds going, what was it like knowing this guy and that guy? Ooh. Not that we ever heard of them, but I like it here.
Yeah,
it's sometimes the mouse has to go where the cheese is. The big round wheel of cheese moves. For a while it was San Francisco, then it went to L.A., and then it rolled to Vegas. So here I am in Vegas.
And my question is, how does somebody get into comedy today?
I would strongly discourage it. It's so fucking different now, and try doing it on the internet and stay at home. Go in front of your shower curtain, hold a hairbrush in your hand, and start telling jokes and film it. Maybe it'll go viral. I don't know. Just I'm old school. I just started going open mics at clubs, Catch Rising Star, the Improv, wherever, any place I've had me. Yeah. And I quickly went nowhere, but had a bunch of fun doing it. So I wouldn't just do it. I just say, like I give advice 40 years ago, just do it anywhere you can, everywhere you can, as often as you can, and maybe you'll get good at it. Yeah. And maybe you'll make a few dollars at it. You never know.
Yeah. But I guess maybe the place that a lot of people make their bones is just doing stuff online.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people going viral, but there's so-called comedians who have never performed in front of an audience before because they're doing this shit online, so I don't get that.
Well, maybe they don't have to.
Yeah, well, that's good if you can perform, if you can do your act at home and not go anywhere. There's nothing wrong with that. My compliments, Don Coolio.
The venue may have changed, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And the venue may have changed, so
yeah,
that's the problem.
I don't know. I'm just playing any place that'll have me. I'm doing a gig tonight for my friend Penny Wiggins, and I'm in Gallup, New Mexico on the weekend, and then this and that. Just this and that.
Isn't it
paying the bills, having fun?
Isn't it awfully hot down there?
Yeah, but I'm in where the air conditioning is on all the time, and the bill isn't that much. So, I'm outside when I walk to my car, and then from I walk from my car to where I have to go. But I'm usually inside this time of year.
I remember once this time of year being in Vegas and having to walk from one hotel to another, which was a couple of blocks away, and by the time I got to the other hotel, I was practically dead.
Oh, you're drenched.
Yeah.
I sweat a lot anyway, so I have pores the size of $50.
But if you know Vegas,
it's hot here. It's going to get worse.
But if you know Vegas,
I can deal with it. I dealt with it last year. I'll deal with it this year.
If you know Vegas well enough, you can I think go underground, can't you, to go from one hotel to another?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, there's no sidewalks really, so bridges and walls and bridges or whatever they have.
Yeah.
To get from one place to the other, you got to walk still, but yeah.
And then you say you
can get there.
You went down to New Mexico to work. Are you going there?
No, I'm going there on Friday. We're going on Friday. We got a show on Saturday. We're coming back on Sunday.
Well, tell me how.
And I'm not doing the driving. That's the best part. So.
How hot's that going to be?
I think 473 degrees. I don't know. It's going to be hot, but we'll just keep the AC on.
I hear about
Wear short sleeves, kids.
I hear about these people in the Mideast who live in countries, and what's the temperature today? 130.
140 degrees.
And I'm going...
What are you, a pussy? You can't take it?
How can you take 130 degrees? It's a dry heat. Bullshit.
That's a dry heat. Yeah,
It's
you burn, but you don't fry.
I mean, 130 degrees, and we sent soldiers over there with army gear on. Okay?
Uh-huh.
You know, we didn't send them over there with Bermuda shorts and tank tops.
Oh no, I know they didn't have reflectors and sunscreen, man.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
I mean,
I have a nephew who's an Iraqi veteran, did like 500 tours of the place in Afghanistan, and I know when it's a hot day and I'm with him, don't complain about the heat because you'll get the lecture.
Yeah. I mean, it's just incredible. I don't like heat.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't like too much. No, nobody likes too much heat. Nobody likes too much cold. I like it in the middle. Right now, I like it cool, and the air conditioner is doing a fine job.
Yeah.
Vegas air conditioners are among the finest in the world. Probably they rival those on the equator.
Yep, they certainly do.
So I have read.
But I mean, this is we're having a hot spell here in New York. It's been
it's July in New York, man.
But it's been going on for weeks. I mean, usually we find that, like last year, I think we didn't get till like August before we really turned on the air conditioner. And this year, the air conditioning started going on in June, and we haven't turned it off. Wait till we see the bill, Well,
wait till August. Oh, August in New York, and the sounds are so inviting. I'm having a stroke.
You know what if anybody wants to know what the heat feels like in New York City on a hot day, just listen to the beginning of 11 Spoonfuls, Summer in the City. That
takes you there, doesn't it?
I always felt that musically that said more than anything I ever heard about New York City.
Oh, you can feel the heat on that song. It's done so well.
Yeah.
Beep, beep, da, 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 give me $1, fuck you. Da, 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 beep, beep.
Hot down, summer in the city.
Summer in the city. Back of my neck getting dirty. Oh, yeah, I can feel the humidity, man. Oh.
And I hate
August in New York.
I hate humidity. I mean,
Oh, humidity blows, man.
We had a day the other day that was like in the 80s, but there was no humidity, and it was wonderful.
Yeah. It's crisp. It's nice.
Yeah, it was crisp and nice. But
yeah.
Today, forget it. We're getting the humidity again. I go for a couple hours without the air conditioning on, and then it starts getting toasty and
oh yeah, it's so humid and hot. The tongues in the window of the deli are yelling, "Water, water!" It's hot, folks. It's so hot. The street signs are sweating. Hello, I saw a cow giving evaporated milk. It's hot, folks. I saw 2 trees fighting over a dog. Is this thing on?
Think of yourself, though. Think of yourself as somebody who has really, who's really been around. I mean, you've lived in the New York area, okay?
Sure.
And so you know New York. Then you lived in San Francisco. What a great experience that had to be. Now you're in Vegas, which is what can I say about Vegas?
It's Vegas, man. It's what it is.
It is what it is, and it constantly.
It is what it is.
Well, it constantly goes through an evolution too. I mean, there were years where it was the gambling mecca, and then they decided they wanted families.
Oh yeah, it's a family thing now.
So Dad and Mom could take the kids, pack them up, come to Las Vegas. The kids could sit in the room watching cartoons on television while their father was downstairs spending their tuition.
Yeah, there goes the college fund. There goes Grandma's crack fund.
Yeah. But they at one point were trying to just appeal to families. Now I don't know if they're trying to do that now.
Well, I don't know. It's usually with the casinos, it's liquor and gambling. As for me, I woke up at 3 a.m. and I did my laundry and I went to the gym. So that's what I do, and I went to the dispensary. So that's what I do with my odd hours here.
3 a.m?
Yep. I woke up at 3. I couldn't get to sleep. I keep odd hours sometimes. So I said, fuck it. I went to the gym. I worked out. I did laundry. There's a little free laundry room, one of many here on the estate. And I got shit done.
Don't most comics work at 3 a.m?
Oh, yeah. They got late shows, but, oh, man. If I'm up past 11, I'm wasted for the whole next day.
So you have to do
It's not like it used to be where I could do a 4-day binge and then go on and do something. So, holy crap.
So what do you do? Do you do the...
Well, tonight's show is at 10:30, which means I'll get home probably at midnight, which means I probably won't get to sleep till 3 or 4, which is usually when I'm waking up. which means I probably won't sleep at all. So,
Well, when I called you
I'll
today,
pack
you didn't answer the phone because you had the ringer off, which at
I
least means...
usually have I don't know why it was off. It's usually on. Some wires got crossed. I don't know what the hell happened.
Well, I assumed that maybe you were sleeping then. But you
No, I was wide awake waiting for you to call. I was in the kitchen waiting for the coffee to boil, and I think Alex is going to call, and I looked at, oh, shit, he called already. Then I looked, the ringer's off.
Yeah, the
So
ringer's
I
off.
called her right back. I screwed up 1,000 pardons, which is 999 more than Nixon got.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're having an exciting time, you know?
It's a nutty thing. I'm digging it, man. I'm digging it.
How's your lady digging it?
She's in California. She can't live here, so we don't know what's going on with that.
Oh.
Every time she's come here, she's ended up in the emergency ward because she can't breathe the air here. Her asthma's totally fucked up.
Wow.
So I don't know what's going on. I'm here. I got the furniture. I got the cats. I got the place.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on yet. So we shall see on the next episode of Alex and Steven.
And which will be in a couple of weeks. Thank you very much, Mr. Pearl.
Thank you, Mr. B. It's always a pleasure talking to you. We'll do it again in a couple of weeks if the good Lord's willing and the creek don't rise.
5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Well, thank you very much, Stephen Pearl. Very nice having you with us. You know what I didn't do? I'm supposed to do Bubbles tomorrow, and I didn't send him an email. See, I can do this right here now. Wait, hold on a second. Where's my email? Here, where's the email? Son of a bitch. Come here, email. Where are you? Oh, there it is. Okay, there's the email. Let me see here. I go, let me see here. Larry Bubbles Brown. Larry Brown. There we go. And then I go Thursday. See, this is how we do this. 10 a.m. 10 a.m. PDT. There we go. And he knows it now. Okay, so there are things I forget to do. Okay, so I didn't forget to do that. So where are we? Okay, let me open up the lines. I was supposed to get a implant today, or implant post, but then the dentist said, well, we first should get some x-rays. So did the x-rays. And he said, now you need to have your teeth cleaned. Come back in on Friday and we'll get your teeth cleaned. And then it'll be ready to go. But wait a minute, there's a cavity down there, so that needs to be filled. So that will cost you X number. Anyway, there are 3 things I've got to get done before they can put the implant in. Yeah. Oh, boy, if it isn't one thing, it's another. I don't know why I'm getting an implant. I ain't going to live that long, you know. If I were young, I could say, oh, you know, I've had this implant for 20 years now, and it's working great. Although I wonder what's going to happen after 20 years to a lot of these implants. Who knows? The lines are open, folks, and I'm waiting for people to call. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me see here. Let me get that up there. So I'm just ready to go if anybody wants to call. Let me see here. No, I don't want to start talking about anything. I've got to get this thing fixed, though. This tooth thing. Oh, hear that? That's the familiar ring of Scott Boddicker. Let me see. He's also, let's see here, Charlie Wallace. We go to Charlie Wallace. I believe Charlie was in on one of these yesterday. Wasn't he? Which one was he at? Are you there, Charlie? Charlie, you there? Oh, here we go. Yeah. He automatically.
I think I'm here.
Yeah, you see, he automatically comes in because he was there yesterday. Okay, so anyway, and now if Jeff could call right now, I wouldn't have to do another one either because it's the same one as yesterday. Hello, Scott.
Hey, Alex. Have you ever noticed that Charlie has the most unique T-shirts you've ever seen?
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned it. Oh, well.
He's always got some. The one yesterday I could not figure out for the life of me. Mm-hmm. It was just a bunch of like 1N, LL. It was crazy. I know. But anyway.
Let me see here.
That was the Stephen Hawking statement.
Yeah, I like your T-shirts.
So anyway, there's Phil. We got Phil. So You know.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So none of you can get a word in edgewise now. What?
I might as well just sit back and drink now.
Well, that's what you do anyway.
Well, let Scott talk and I'll drink.
Yeah. Oh, you're still in a hotel room in
Denver.
Oh,
Denver.
Denver.
Did you go to any? Did you pick me up some pot while you were there?
No, I haven't gone outside of the complex. It's supposed to be 100 degrees out there, but it's freezing in all the conference rooms.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So anyway, let me see here. Let me see here. There he is. There's our good friend.
Stein.
Huh? There he is.
Jeff Stein.
There's Jeff Stein.
Yeah.
So, in fact, Jeff and I and his lovely wife are all going to get together later this month, aren't we?
Here we are.
Yeah, we are.
Oh,
Yeah.
But I want to tell you guys that I got the coolest T-shirt of anybody.
Oh, that is good.
Oh yeah, that's a spine.
For
Wow.
the bicycle.
Where did you get that?
My daughter works at the medical school in
Oh.
Massachusetts.
I was almost going to buy something.
Okay.
I was almost going to buy something today because I went to the dentist and I passed by. I come out of the subway at Radio City Music Hall, and there was a store, and they actually had a Radio City Music Hall T-shirt that they were selling in the store. And I kind of thought, I don't want to feel like a tourist, but that would really be cool to have Radio City Music Hall on my,
What does it say? I could have been a Rockette.
No, it just says Radio City Music Hall. It has the logo for the Radio
Yeah.
City Music Hall. So
Yeah.
anyway, excuse me if I'm tired tonight because last night I got up early this morning and then I started worrying about stuff, which I don't want to talk about, but I started worrying about stuff, and I couldn't go back to sleep. So I got like 5 hours sleep.
I had a rough night too.
Really?
I'm
Why
not
are they
used to
going around?
sleeping in a hotel.
You're not used to sleeping in a hotel?
No, and let's see, I probably went to sleep at around 11 this time. This couple hours earlier than you.
Yeah.
And I got up at 2:30 and couldn't go back to sleep.
Wow. Wow.
And breakfast was at 6. We had a meeting, and I just
Now
couldn't get back to sleep.
this is a rug installers meeting. Convention.
We all talk about the fuzzy stuff is on top, shag, and maybe shag is going to come back.
You know what? I inherited a rug once, or I got a rug once. Who was the madam here in New York? I'm trying to remember her name now.
I know the one in L.A. was Heidi Fleiss, but
No.
Floss?
The one here in New York years ago. I'm trying to remember her name now.
I remember the one in Sausalito, but I don't remember any in New York.
Well, Sally Sanford. I knew her.
Yeah,
I knew her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. To the end. She ran a bar called the Valhalla, a restaurant called the
Right.
Valhalla. And up to the end, man, she was stuffing all the money and all the receipts in her bra.
She was the mayor of Sausalito.
She was the mayor of Sausalito for a short time, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to think. Who was this woman? I'm trying to remember her name now. But she was very well known because they busted her whorehouse, and she got a lot of publicity out of it. And then she moved to Holland because that's
Yeah.
where she was from. I'm trying to remember what her name
Isn't
was.
prostitution legal in Holland?
I don't know.
In Amsterdam, I know
Yeah.
it is. They have a red district.
Yes, I never asked. Let's see here. What was
Is
her
it
name?
enough?
Manhattan Madam. Manhattan. I think there were a couple of Manhattan Madams, so that's the problem.
Anna Christina?
No, the Manhattan Madam.
Christina
Let's see
Davis?
here. Let's see here. As soon as I hear her name, I'll know it.
Yeah.
Christina
no,
Davis.
no,
Manhattan Madam.
no, there's another one. There's one earlier though. God bless it. I can't remember because there was a. Let's see here.
What year?
It was Kristen M. Davis was the one woman, but that's not the one I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember the one who was from Holland, and she ran a She ran a brothel here in New York, and why was I even bringing her up? I forgot completely. What were we talking about?
Now I don't remember.
Anyway,
We were talking about.
So she
inherited a
had
rug.
a rug in this whorehouse. So we got the rug, and we put it down in our offices at Midnight Blue.
Oh.
And
Did
we
you
said,
check it for blacklight?
well, no, we didn't do that. No. But we were very proud of that. You know, the whole office was done in this carpet from this whorehouse. What is her name? It's like, you know, it's there, you know, it's right back around in here somewhere, you know, and you just can't dredge it up.
Yeah. Well, I never frequented the place, so I don't know.
Well, we don't know that you didn't frequent the place, Phil.
Well, I didn't frequent the place.
Well,
Otherwise, I would have remembered the name.
Well, have you ever been to a whorehouse?
Yes.
Okay. So,
Ooh.
yeah, tell us about it.
Well, my cousin, I was 18.
Somebody always drags you to one, by the way.
Right. And we went to one in Miami.
Yeah, you went screaming, right? You went protesting all the way, right?
No. It was, but I didn't have any money. My cousin had a lot of money. And this was a body painting place. So, you know, I didn't, you know, it was $5 to paint the body, but I didn't have the $25 to do anything else. So I painted the body. I didn't get laid.
Oh, you didn't get laid, but you painted the body. I see.
Right. Well, that's what we paid for.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I went. Let's see here. I went to the. I had nothing to do, and I was. I know what was it? What was it exactly? I think it was my friend who was the head of Play Incorporated, Paul Montgomery, and Paul, for one, he used to like to take me to these stripping clubs. What are they called? You know,
strip clubs.
Strip clubs. Well, you know, where they pole dancers. You know? Yeah. And then they would come down, and for $20, they would like sit on your lap or blow in your ear or whatever, right?
Yeah, but you couldn't touch them.
But you couldn't touch them.
No, can't touch them.
And I didn't like doing it, but because I liked Paul, I kind of felt I was bonding with him because he did enjoy this. In fact, I used to take him to the Moonlight Bunny Ranch. What happened to? We lost.
He's come back. There he is.
There he is.
I used to take him to the Moonlight Bunny Ranch, and he would love to just go in, spend some time with one of the women at the Moonlight Bunny Ranch. When he'd come out, I said, "What'd you do?" He said, "We talked." Mm-hmm. He would pay them to talk. You know, and I found out later on from a lot of the women that worked there that wasn't that uncommon.
Yeah. Yeah, talk to my little Willie.
Yeah, talk to my little Willie, exactly. Anyway, was it he that I was with, and he wanted to go to the Mustang Ranch.
That's a long drive.
Well, no, we were there anyway. We were in Nevada. We would always take trips up to either Reno or Lake Tahoe because he had like a Ferrari. And then we would get in the Ferrari and we'd do a midnight run to Tahoe or a midnight run to Reno. The only problem with that was Ferraris are the most uncomfortable fucking
I was just going to mention that.
Well, wait a minute. What was the, it was a Ferrari. What's
I thought you had a Lamborghini.
Oh, no. This was a Lamborghini he got
Those
later.
are even more uncomfortable.
Oh, that was so uncomfortable that to do 200 miles in a Lamborghini is like, I think that's, you know, where I got my first hemorrhoid from, right? So anyway, he decided he wanted to go to the Mustang Ranch because, you know, everybody, of course everybody's heard about it. So anyway, he goes in, and I've got nothing to do. Now, at the Moonlight Bunny Ranch, I could always talk to, you know, my friend who owned the place, or I could talk to some of the women, you know, and we would just sit and talk and whatever. While he was doing what he was doing. But I had nothing to do at the Mustang Ranch. I wasn't going to sit there and drink their beer and eat their beef jerky. You know, that just wasn't... So I figure, what the hell? I should figure this out, because the idea of going to a prostitute never appealed to me, because I like conquest. I like to seduce, and I like to be able to have some woman want me, not because I'm handing her $50 and saying, blow me, So I never found that sexy, but I figured, maybe I should just do it once and see if I enjoy it at all. And so I went and I did it, and I just didn't find it particularly enjoyable at all, So that was my basic trip to a whorehouse, out of hanging out at the Moonlight Bunny Ranch all the time.
Now, your friend at the Moonlight Bunny Ranch did win his election posthumously.
Posthumously?
Well,
where did you
posthumously?
I've heard you say words before, but that is about the worst rendition of a word that I've heard you come up. Posthumously?
Close enough. You know what I was talking
about. You mean
You know what you meant.
Posthumously. And now I can't say it because you fucked me up. Posthumously.
Yeah, nuclear. It's nuclear.
Posthumously.
Did you go to high school in Brooklyn?
No, I went in Westchester, Lakeland High School. The guy that calls from Yorktown? It's right next to that. And AOC was from Yorktown.
Really?
Yeah. So she grew up in a very white area.
She seems more educated than you.
Probably is.
Well, that's what they teach well over in those foreign countries she comes from.
Yeah. She should go back.
Yeah. Well, no, somebody said he wants me to go back to where I came from. I said, does that mean I have to go to the Bronx?
Well, Yorktown. When you asked me, if anybody asked me if I should go back, I said, yeah, Brooklyn.
Yeah. But anyway, it's the way things are. Anyway, so I'm very tired tonight, so you guys are just going to have to do all the talking, because I got up. I hate it when I get up and I'm worried about something, which right now is every day.
So why didn't they put the tooth in? They wanted an X-ray. Doesn't this guy have X-rays?
First he said we should take an X-ray to see what your mouth is about, okay, and I agreed to that, and they took the X-rays. Now I'm like you, the X-rays, and so we took the. Oh, there we go. Patrick Blazik has just, excuse me, called in. Hold on a second. Let me give him a little slot here. Let me see here. There we go, Darth Pat. Okay, there we go. And he's there. Okay. Hi, Patrick.
Hi.
What were you at? Who was asking what? See, that's how out of it I am. What?
You were talking about the dentist and the X-ray.
Oh, yeah. So, and then he said, oh, well, let's see here. Oh, yes, you have a cavity there that needs to be worked on because it's getting close to a nerve, but I think it can be saved. I said, okay, fine, just have at it. And he says, so let's do the clean. Let's do that. Let's do a cleaning. Then let's do the filling on another day. So I'm seeing them like Friday, Monday, and like I think Wednesday, I think is the day I'm having the tooth worked on. That tooth worked on. And he said, then we'll see about the, then we'll get to the implant. He said, but I don't want to work in a mouth that's got a lot of, tartar and things like that in it. He said that wouldn't be good.
Didn't you just get a cleaning?
Huh?
I thought you just got a cleaning.
No.
You'd mentioned on the air.
No, I haven't had a cleaning in quite a while. Because let me see here. I gotta put Alan here on. Let's see here. He would be.
That's Yonkers.
That is Yonkers.
He heard you.
Let's see here. There's Alan Kroger. Okay.
Did you live near AOC?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too far, a mile and a half away.
Did she go to high school in Yorktown?
Apparently, yes. Apparently, she did. I mean, I'm much older than she is. I'm 64. Yeah. She's whatever.
27, 9.
Something like that.
29 now.
She's a hot 29.
Yep.
You got to admit.
Can't wait for her to get to be 35.
You got to admit, we have OAC, and you've got that blonde bimbo in the White House. What's her name?
Kelly Conway.
Kellyanne Conway. Yeah. Now, if you had to fuck one of them, which one would you want to fuck?
Either.
I don't know. I'm older, and
Oh,
somebody who's 20 something.
Look,
just
I'm
doesn't appeal to
talking
me
like
anymore.
we're 20 again, okay? And I'm
Oh,
asking you,
oh,
who would
yeah.
you fuck, Kellyanne Conway or OAC?
OAC.
Of course.
Kellyanne was on a TV show the other day. She must be getting her hair done. Her eye, she used to have one eye that was smaller than the other, and they were both symmetrical on this TV show. So she was looking okay.
Yeah. Okay.
She had a very expensive haircut. And her eyes were
I
symmetrical.
have the funny feeling with Kellyanne Conway that she smells bad.
Down there.
Dude, Patrick, you ever get that feeling about certain people when you see them? Like, I always thought that Cher smelled bad. I don't know why.
Was Cher Italian? Cher's Italian. Probably does smell bad.
Was she Italian, or was she part
Probably
of...
had hair under the armpits,
Most likely.
What, Patrick?
Now that Phil mentioned about the eye with Kellyanne,
Mm-hmm.
maybe she smells so bad that it was a reaction to herself.
Opened up the eye.
Was going down the other bigger.
Yeah.
That might stink.
Well, as a photographer, when you do portraits, almost everybody has one eye that's smaller than the other. So what you want to do is you want to place the eye that's smaller closer to the camera so it looks bigger, and it looks more even, and it makes people look better. So I'm always very conscious of which eye is the smaller eye.
Mm-hmm. By the way, if I'm doing this, it's because today my eyes are bothering me. The allergies are back. They went away for a day or so.
Al is frozen, I think.
Is Al frozen?
Yeah, he is.
Al, are you there? Oh, we lost him. He'll call back. When he calls back, he'll start moving again.
Well, Phil, what about the brown eye?
What do you mean? The stink eye?
Back.
Stink eye?
The back eye.
Eye sizes, and what about the brown eye? Where do you put that in?
Well, I don't photograph porn.
I bet her brown eye smells bad.
Oh,
You got to get your nose in it, Alex.
Yeah.
Trump's been there.
Something, I have to say this, and Albert and I went to a Republican convention when it was here in New York, when we were working at Sirius XM. And we both had to agree that the Republican women looked pretty fucking goddamn hot, Yeah. And you kind of had this feeling, it was kind of like, when I would look at these women, I would feel exceptionally guilty, just like I probably would have during World War II if all of a sudden I was getting a boner over a German female soldier,
Hey, what's on your feed?
What do you mean, what's on my feed?
On the YouTube feed.
The show.
Oh. Okay, because I must have touched something, because as you were talking, Ronnie Bennett came up.
Oh, that's the other.
That's okay.
It's either last night's show or it's the other or the standalone Ronnie interview.
Okay. I don't know how it ended up there.
Well, I have no idea either, but we don't give a shit.
This is the 17th. Okay, now I got it.
Yeah. Al's lying in bed.
I am.
Yeah.
It's late.
Yeah,
I have to work tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, this is the only work I have.
Does somebody have their audio on?
No.
Feedback too.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know where that's coming from, but if you had a real echo going on, it would be going on because somebody was listening and it was like 30 seconds ago.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
The phone only can do one thing at a time.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, so and that's about the only time that I ever actually went to a whorehouse that wasn't owned by a friend. Okay, that's the best way I could put it. What the hell is with that slapback tonight? That's ridiculous.
I think it's LK.
You think something was
Yeah.
Al?
Nah, turn the feed down and turn it back up and see what happens.
I did.
Oh,
I did.
well, I don't hear it
Got
now.
compression on. Got compression on.
You had compression on?
You do.
I do? No, I don't.
No? Okay.
No. There is a natural compression that goes with Skype that they do so people do not. It's a thing
It's called mix minus.
It's called mix minus, and it's built into Skype.
Okay.
And Phil
And that's
keeps
your
telling me I should do mix minus. I should do mix minus. If I did mix minus, I'd be doubling mix minus because Skype
That's
is
right.
already mix minusing.
Here
Yeah.
you go.
It's
All right.
okay to double it.
No, it's not okay to double it. Yes, Patrick.
But if you're doubling mix minusing, wouldn't it be mix plusing?
You probably mix plus if you did double mix minusing. Yeah.
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 Mix plus.
Yeah. Well, I could mix minus with this board, but the problem would be is that nobody else would be able to hear anybody else if I did it that way.
No, because they come in on 2 channels.
Fuck it. This works fine.
Okay. No, nobody understands what mix minus really is.
I mean, let's face it. It's amazing that at my age I was able to pull off what I pulled off with all these people being on the screen at the same time.
It is amazing, Alex. It's. I couldn't do this. I could not do what you're doing right now. I could not do it.
Yeah.
And he's an engineer.
Well, I mean, I had to set. Once you get the thing set up, it's no great problem, But it was it was the new way of having to handle the new Skype, which wouldn't allow me to literally capture the whole thing like we did before. Plus, even if I captured what we have here, it looks so shitty now with all the little bubbles and shit like that,
I like
the
bubble.
Skype, but your little invention looks great on YouTube.
My little invention.
Yeah, the way you got the squares.
Well, it isn't my
rectangles.
invention, I'm using technology to do it, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
you set it up.
it's pretty good, and everybody has a clear picture, and it's not like the old days. The old days it was really shitty, so, yeah. So, anyway, so I was going to say Republican women were really hot, and I felt very guilty about it.
And look at Fox.
Huh?
Fox News. Yeah, Fox News.
Yeah.
Will you ever watch that show they have at noon called what's it called?
Outnumbered.
Outnumbered, in which
Outnumbered.
it's like 6 women and 1 guy.
Ooh, yeah.
Lucky SOBs.
And the one guy's usually always Alan Dershowitz. It's these women talking about politics and all trying to keep their jobs. And it's harder to keep it now because now you have to be able to really do right-wing politics on that show. Before, all you had to do was blow Roger Ailes. So the whole game has changed,
That's
What were you going to say, Scott? What did you say, Scott?
I said that was disgusting, blowing Ellen or Roger Ailes.
Talking about blowjobs, who is Kevin Spacey? They dropped all the.
Yep, they dropped all the charges against him.
Yeah. So does that mean that he's going to be back on whatever that TV show was?
No. Supposedly there's some other cities that are looking into charges against him. One is in Hollywood and the other's in England, London. He was with the Royal Shakespeare Theatre? What was he with? He was with
I don't know.
And so there are still some other charges pending. Nobody's charged him, but they're pending. Now, my question is, are they going to give him work back? Is he going to be allowed to get his work back if none of these charges stick and nothing is, then is he just not allowed to work in the business because of assertions? Is that
way.
right? What would
Yeah,
you
it looks
say,
that way.
Al? You're
No, I'm saying this seems to be a general trend. Is an assertion, and everybody's screwed. Whoever gets to something asserted is. I can understand why people say like, "Oh, not me too," as a nice little hashtag.
yeah.
I mean,
Well,
like,
I hate to say this, but Me Too always reminded me in a lot of ways of the McCarthy era, in which all it took was an accusation to make sure you never worked again.
Mhm.
You know, and nobody was vetting these accusations. Oh, but we can't vet them because women are never believed, so we have to allow them this time to be believed no matter what they say.
There was one other thing. If you apologized too soon, then they ripped you apart. But if you
Yeah,
said,
I'll tell you, Louis C.K.'s biggest problem was he apologized.
right,
And, you know, saying, yeah, I did that and I apologize. What he should have done, my feeling is that what we've learned, if we've learned nothing else from this whole thing, never admit it. Never.
Yeah.
did you learn that from Trump?
It's like Lenny Bruce once said, if your wife finds that you've been cheating on her, deny it. No matter what she says, deny it, deny it, deny it. Because if you ever say, honey, I did it, I'm sorry, that's it. You know, so deny it. And I think that was a kind of a bad message to send across to people. You know, oh, here comes Tony. God, I'm going to have to make up more room here. Let me see here. Let me see. We're going to go to number 7. And there's where we'll put Tony. Hold on a second. Let me see. Tony Quisp. I don't know what that means, but
It's a Quisp cereal. Alex, I got the fire department in my house before. A manhole cover blew up, and now they're checking for carbon monoxide. I only got a 16 level up here. They had to open. They made me open up all the windows.
Really?
The house down the block, a 200 carbon monoxide. Just heard the fireman. I just said it's not dangerous, but just open the windows up.
Tony, are you cooking again?
No, the man. I'll show you in the front of the house with the thing.
So turn your.
Hold
video.
on, Ma. The firemen are outside. Will you go to bed?
Turn your camera on, Tony.
This is a comedy act over Magno's house. This is like, in case people have never heard this program before, Tony Magno is taking care of his mother.
She's a nervous wreck. I think her dying now. He get paid.
And look at the wallpaper. Look at the fucking wallpaper, and look at the chintz curtains.
Yeah.
No wonder Tony
Skype,
is.
but I can see him
If
on
Tony
YouTube.
ever takes out the entire neighborhood, we can forgive him for that wallpaper because that made him do it. And if you can't,
Go back to bed.
are you telling your mother to shut up? Is that what you're doing?
You know why? My nephew carried the Gilio at the feast, so he parked the car in the yard. Is everything all right? Ma, if everything was wrong, you wouldn't be sleeping in the bedroom. Now she's all worried. I didn't want the fireman to say anything, but I had to march him around the house because he had his little meter out.
Yeah.
It's elder abuse.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Alex, the honor like that. I felt like you probably going after your mom. But no, seriously, they're going to be out here all night. Their house down the block has got a 200 level upstairs, so they can't sleep in there.
They can't. No shit.
So what blew up? What blew up?
Somehow with the fire, that thunderstorm, the manhole cover was smoking. It must have backed up into the houses. I don't know how the fuck
Wait a
that
minute.
happened.
Did lightning hit the manhole cover?
I think it did, or it short-circuited somehow or another. It doesn't make any sense.
Because we just had a lightning storm here that was pretty severe.
Yeah.
You had it probably where you are, right? Alan?
Yeah, there was about an hour ago.
Yeah. You know something? Hey, can you remember a summer in past years that's been as continually hot as this one?
It's bad.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I mean, but how far back you have to go? Because the last couple of
They
years,
got a song.
usually you get some 70-degree days, and then you get some 80-degree days. We have not turned the air conditioner off in a month.
I know.
I got a $200 bill.
You know,
Really?
when I was growing up in New York, they used to turn on the fire hydrants because it was so hot, and the kids would run through it. New York is hot, and it's muggy.
No, but
and
it's
there's big
hot.
bugs.
It's hot.
But
Oh,
it's
I didn't
cold
turn
now.
I didn't turn the light on.
Oh, did you think?
I didn't do.
Oh, let me check the fire.
I have an idea.
It's cold now.
Bring a fireman in it, Tony. We don't want to see a fireman.
Wait a minute. Is Al lying there topless now?
Oh my God! Put it on.
God,
It's
this show is
cute.
getting disgusting.
Well, you're starting to talk about porno and
What a
these
clown show!
whorehouses.
What a fucking clown show we got going here.
My wife loves
Fire girl
firemen.
looks like full
Loves
Apache.
firemen.
Hey, Tony.
Crazy.
Alan
here.
is lying naked in bed.
I'm playing Nintendo on my couch.
Are you
and
naked?
ring
Are
the
you
doorbell
are
in a
you
couple
naked,
days.
Al?
No,
No.
I have my shirt off. It's comfortable that way.
Yeah, you have your shirt off. Okay,
Right.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
hot.
right.
That's hot.
Prove it to you, God damn it.
Trying to finish the Super
I'm
Mario
naked from the waist down.
You're
TMI.
naked from the waist down. I thought tonight. I thought I would just sit here in my underpants, but I went and put some shorts on so people can see it.
Oh!
That's my style. What can I tell you?
You know.
I can't sleep. I got to get to be in front of the house all night. I used to doing the job though, thank God.
Go sleep outside in the backyard.
If I'm dead tomorrow, it's from carbon monoxide. I'll tell you
And
that.
Mike Allen says Ania Gristna. No. What was her name? Her name was Hollander. That's the name I remember.
Xavier
Hollander.
Yeah.
I had her rug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do a column in Penthouse.
What? Yeah, she of course for years. I think is she still alive?
The
I
Happy
wonder?
Hooker, she called
The Happy Hooker. That was it. And
Happy
even
Hook.
they had a book and they made a movie out of it. You know.
She was hot.
No, she wasn't.
Oh, I like her.
I knew Xavier. She was a nice lady. She was very smart, very bright.
Who was the gal in San Francisco in the 70s that was involved in that Now movement and so forth? And she was
Gloria?
I believe she was Gloria Steinem. Was she a?
Steinem?
She was a prostitute.
No, she wasn't.
She was a Playboy.
She was a call
never,
girl.
never.
No, she was
Never.
a Playboy bunny.
She was a
wasn't
Playboy.
Is that what it was?
She worked as a Playboy bunny in order to write an article. What?
Yes, you're right.
Yes.
But worked as a Playboy bunny, then she turned into this.
But leave it to Phil
Yeah.
to libel me. Libel
Is she
this
still
program.
alive?
Yes,
Gloria
she's still
Steinem,
alive.
yeah, she's still alive. She's like almost 80. I think she just turned 80.
There goes Tony.
You know, which
back
I
to
think of that. I
Elizabeth
said she
Park.
just turned 80, and I'm thinking, boy, is she old? And then I went, whoops.
She used to live in Laurel Heights. I used to see her driving around there.
Yeah, but no, I knew. Here's how I knew Gloria. I was going out with a woman here in New York by the name of. I can say it. I don't think she'd feel bad if I said that I was seeing her. Her name was Marianne Madden, and she did a thing called the Competition in New York Magazine at the back of New York Magazine. And I got to know Marianne pretty well. I used to go see her every morning after I got off my show at 6 o'clock at WPLJ. And every morning when I would go up the stairs, Gloria Steinem lived right below her. And every morning when I would go up the stairs, because I guess the times were the same or whatever, coming out of her apartment was James Brown. No, not the singer, the football player, Jim Brown. And every morning, it was kind of like the two of us. It was like the two guys. Remember that cartoon with the sheep and the wolf, and the good morning, Bob. Good morning, Sam. I mean, it was that kind of thing. Every day we'd say hello to each other.
Passing in the night.
Yeah, two ships passing. What is that noise? What is that noise? Dan, is that yours?
Yeah.
Dan?
I'm not making any noise.
No, you have your thing set to where the automatic levels.
Yeah.
Sound. I don't know how
It's really loud.
Yeah, you got to turn that down.
I'll get off there and fix it and come back.
Well, all you have to do is just go in there, and it's under settings, and
I think he's on his phone.
I'm on my phone. I'm not real familiar.
well, now it's okay now. It's okay now.
Yeah.
It was just.
Yeah, that's what happens. It builds up all the ambient noise when you first get on, unless you uncheck that box.
Well, I'll look it up next time.
Yeah, well, he's on his phone. They may not even have that kind of setting on the phone.
I don't know.
I don't know shit about this.
and neither do I. Hold on a second, folks. There he is. Okay, there we go. There's Pat. There's Dan. Hello, Dan.
Am I getting the Carol Brady spot?
You're in what? The Carol Brady spot?
Brady Bunch.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. That's the wrong. That's the wrong thing. I got to
No,
say.
it looks like the Brady Bunch, and I want the Carol Brady spot.
Hold on.
Then you'd have to push Patrick out.
Why is this not?
No,
let me see here.
Patrick's in the Alice spot.
8.
Oh.
Oh, wait a minute. 8. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I got to move Dan to 8. I got to move Dan to 8. And there's somebody that I'm. Oh, I see here. Okay, let me put Dan in 8. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Ah, boy, this is getting unwieldy. Let me see here. There we go. And now up there, I need to put in the 6th spot. You can see, folks. You don't know what I'm talking about because I. Huh?
Yeah, where's
There's no
Tony?
Tony.
No, there he is.
No,
Oh, he's there?
But Tony's down there. What I need to put Al back in here. His picture in here. Let me see.
Sure.
Al Kroger. There we go. Okay, now we got Al Kroger. Okay, now I can transition it. There we go.
Beer cold miracles.
I'm sorry if I interrupted the show by coming on.
No, you didn't interrupt
Just
it.
temporarily.
And then everybody who is here has interrupted us at one point or another.
Did you see the new footage that they dug up of Trump and Epstein palling around back in '92 or something?
Yeah, I'm not going to hold that against Trump. You know.
Well, it's just, he said, I'm not a fan. I barely knew him,
Well, no,
right?
he admitted that he knew him because he hung out in Florida,
Mar-a-Lago.
and Mar-a-Lago and so on, and he knew him, but that they had a falling out. And I think the falling out was over the fact that he got busted, and he didn't want to,
No, he threw him out of the Mar-a-Lago years ago because before he got busted. Because he claims that he inappropriately touched some of the wait staff.
Oh, I bet that mattered.
Since when did Trump ever care about women being inappropriately touched?
Yeah, he has to be the one being.
I mean, he did give an unqualified testimonial to him, though, as a blog at one time, or not maybe as a blog, but just as a statement that he he's a pretty good guy, and he likes women like I do, and some of them are on the younger side.
Right, yeah.
Hey, you probably don't want to talk too much Trump, but I guess there was an impeachment vote today, and it was like 3-something to 90. It was very lopsided against impeachment.
Yeah, why was that, Phil?
Because I think that they wanted to put it to a committee or something.
No. Nancy Pelosi asked her fellow Democrats to vote against it.
Right.
Okay, so that's why it didn't
But there was
fly.
something else that it didn't go to a committee.
It probably should have gone to a committee. Usually those things go to a committee, but that didn't go to a committee. Look, I understand Pelosi's feeling about not wanting to impeach Trump. Because that makes him or at least puts him, it gives him victim status, and I don't think she feels from a political standpoint that's what the Democratic Party needs right now, and that even if we started impeachment proceedings against him, hell, it would take into his next term if he gets reelected to he'd either be out of office or into his second term before they could ever get anything really going on.
I think he has some solid support from people that don't want him impeached.
Then let's not take anybody to trial.
Yeah.
Well,
Dan was
He
trying
broke
to
the law. We're not going to try him for it. Let's not try anybody. Bank robbers, set them free.
Look, I understand where you're coming
You
from,
don't.
Charlie. You're coming from a very logical standpoint, and a standpoint I totally agree with. People shouldn't be allowed to get away with what he's been allowed to get away with. However,
I totally understand that. I mean, I'm kind of torn on it myself.
but
It's
I understand. I understand the political underpinnings on this.
Yeah.
You know, and what.
But then again, it's also at what point have we completely thrown all morality out the window, and just like it's all strategic, and we only care about the moral right thing to do if it's advantageous to us. And
Well, okay. What's more important at this? What are you saying, Al?
I said we have arrived.
Yeah. But I mean,
we had Clinton.
What is more important, to win the election or to impeach Trump? And I don't think you can do both.
Why not?
Because I think he makes him a pitiful character. Is what it does.
It's tough.
Makes him a victim.
It's a tough call. I know it's a tough call.
Yeah, you know, and
I'm not figured it out yet.
You know,
we impeached Nixon and we won the election. And
Nixon
wasn't impeached.
Well, he resigned.
Nixon resigned because
he started impeachment procedure.
And it was in a
and
different.
We still won the next election.
Jeff's got his hand. Jeff's got his hand up. Jeff,
I think we all have to remember that if we impeach the president, the Senate then has to make their own decision, which it's never going to happen.
Well, what it is? Let me just put it.
On the
let me.
record of saying it's okay for Trump to break all these laws,
and
then we run against them and put them out.
Wait a minute. Let me put this. Hold on a second. Hey, everybody, let me talk for a second. For people who don't understand, they think that impeachment is like throwing the president out of office, and it isn't. Impeachment is simply an indictment of the president for a crime, because he can't be tried in the courts. Okay. So then the trial itself, if you remember with Clinton, the trial itself takes place in the Senate. And if this thing then goes to the Senate for a trial, and we have the current Senate we've got now, there's no way he's going to be convicted.
Now, on the 24th, Mueller is testifying in front of Congress, right? The Congress is going to have their chance to ask him these questions about obstruction and so forth. Whether he's just going to say what's in the report or if he's going to answer the questions directly, I don't know. But at that point, either they have something to convict, to try him on, or they don't.
I think what they want to do with Mueller is ask him, what did you mean in the report when you said thus and thus?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and get a clearer explanation of that, because a lot of people believe Mueller was sending out some kind of code there saying, well, here's where you can get them.
Yeah. Just like they do in Area 51.
Yep.
What?
You
can drive this show off into a ditch.
No, they're looking for codes, secret codes, and hidden conspiracies.
Yeah. Yes, Al.
No, I'm just doing secret handshakes.
Oh, I see.
For Phil.
Oh, boy. Okay. Naked guy in bed. Oh, yes, Mr. Beard. Yes. Yes, Jeff.
The one thing that I've been thinking about, and I'm not 100% correct on the legal end, but I think if Trump does certain illegal things, and we wait until he's no longer president, we can then take him to court.
Yes, we can. Yes, we
Get
can.
the statute of
limitations.
And they never do that.
Well, there's a statute of limitations, Charlie, but the statute of limitations is not, that short that we can't charge him once he gets out of it.
7 years?
If he gets reelected,
it depends on the crime.
Run out.
Isn't it 7 years?
Depends on the crime.
Depends on the crime, and the crime will run out.
I mean, let's find that when he was. Let's find out if when he was in prison, Okay, I mean in prison. When he was in the White House, it's a kind of form of prison. When he was in the White House, by the way, there's a lot of noise coming from there.
Ray Renati.
Ray, let me see here. Let me find Ray. You know, I really should put my glasses on. That would be a very good thing if I did that. Wait a minute, hold on a second.
I think you got to expand the screen too.
What?
You need another place.
I know. I'm working on it, Phil. Just let me
That
let me
means
first.
we got a full house.
I realize that, Phil.
Yeah.
But wait a minute. Hold on a second.
My job.
Darth Pat, Alan Kroger, Charles Wallace. Oh, there we go. Goomba. There we go. Yeah, all you people with your silly little names. Okay. Now there we go, folks. Oh, it's not a royal flush though. I better turn that.
No,
off.
it's just full house.
No, it's a full house. So I gotta.
What's a royal flush? I missed
11.
Royal flush is 11. Yeah, a full house.
This one goes up to 11.
There we go. Here we go. It's a full
And
house. There we go.
And a jackpot is 13.
Yeah.
I mean, 12.
Oops. Wait a minute. I got two of Ray Renati. I don't want two of Ray.
Oh, that's the
Renati.
age
then
Trump
that's a
likes
full-
his
then-
girl.
then that's the royal flush.
There we go.
And Epstein likes his girls.
Huh? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. What? why
Phil
is-
said 13. I don't think that's what
No,
you.
it's 12. 12.
Oh, I
is
see.
the
Okay,
jackpot.
9. Ah, there we go.
Oh, that's either one of them's Trump or one of them's Epstein. I don't know. The AJ like their girls. 12 or 13.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm having to do some stuff here. Hold on. Just everybody, leave me alone. Okay, hold on. There we go.
Dan, didn't you have a van at one time?
Huh?
I don't have the van anymore. Jeffrey Epstein took the van.
There we go.
You know, looking for kids. Here's some candy.
Wait a minute.
Blue
Wait a
band.
minute. Why is he up at
Yeah.
number 8? Number 8. Who's in 8th place?
That
Who did,
was,
who did we have in there? We had Dan. I got to put Dan back in there.
Yeah, I don't
Mr.
know how you
Dan.
count it.
There we go, Mr.
happened to
Dan.
me?
Okay.
Patrick.
There goes Mr. Dan. There we go. Now we got everybody.
Hey, I gotta ask Dan, are you still doing the surveys on the phone?
No, I'm not. Thank God I'm done with that now. I
Aren't
do
you
DoorDash.
teaching?
I'm doing
DoorDash?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh,
Moving
you
up
weren't-
in the world.
You do what?
DoorDash.
What is DoorDash?
Oh, you do deliveries for food?
Food delivery.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
It's like Uber for food.
I've never heard of DoorDash.
I have.
Oh. Well,
Yeah.
get on the website and order some food.
Yeah.
And I'll
sometimes-
drive up to New York and bring it to you.
You bet. What kind of automatic tip do you get for New York
Oh,
runs?
yeah.
Well, that's the thing. There's been a lot of problems, and DoorDash is a company. It's kind of one of these startups. It's it's not entirely on the up and up. I'm using my own car, my own gas, and everything, and DoorDash applies the tip to the guarantee. So I always like it best when the customers tip in cash. You see.
Yeah.
And DoorDash can't get their grubby hands on it.
Boy, you really have some scuzzy jobs, Dan.
I thought he was a teacher for a while.
No, I'm a teacher as well. During the school year, I'm a substitute teacher, and now I'm doing DoorDash. And this is the perfect second job because I can do it full time over the summer, and then do the school teaching during the year.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good. Okay.
Ray-
All
I'm
right.
not a full time teacher, so I don't get a.
No, when you're
salary.
a substitute teacher, do you work a lot, though? You must be.
Yeah, I get about 4 days a week, I'd say.
Oh,
I could
okay.
get 5 if I wanted, but.
All right.
Now, Ray, who
Oops, you have a substitute
you
teacher.
haven't seen yet, he's the one in the exercise thing.
Yeah.
He also drives Uber because he meets people and he interviews them basically, and he likes doing it. And so
Lyft.
And
Oh, and
Lyft.
Lyft.
And
And
Lyft.
Lyft.
I know
Lyft,
most
Lyft and Uber are both
most
the
of
same.
these people, like in New York, they have everybody that ever picks me up for Juneau also has Lyft and also has Uber, but said that they really don't like Uber because Juneau only takes 15%. Uber takes what, 35%, Ray?
That's a lot.
Yeah,
50.
Uber sometimes takes up to 30, 32%. Lyft is usually down around 20 or 21. I also drive for a company called Hop Skip Drive, which is like Uber for kids, and they pay the best by far. But you have to get an
Drive
FBI
kids
background
around?
check.
You have to get an FBI background check?
Yeah.
Why is that?
How close are you to having a book
Oh,
of
Jeffrey
the people
Epstein
that
can
you,
apply to that
that
job.
you talk to?
How
Aren't you
what?
working on a book? I thought you were working
Yes,
on
I
a
am.
book.
I'm working on it. I'm gonna do like a musical or a one-man show. I have a video camera and I have all kinds of material.
Hey, ever tell you about the
I
time?
haven't started. I'm collecting.
Did I ever tell you about the time I did a one-man show?
No.
Well, actually, it wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to be. It's just nobody showed up.
That's no audience.
I have to cut out my sisters here. I got the fireman coming up again to check the monoxide.
So I have to reapportion all these squares?
I know she's
Are you out of your fucking mind?
Mommy may have carbon monoxide.
It's no longer going to be a full house here any longer.
Sorry, Alex. I got the fireman coming up.
Well, I'm getting rid of you right
Sister
now.
wants to see the fireman.
Yeah, she wants to check. Why didn't you call me?
Need somebody to replace Tony.
I got them coming up there.
I'm getting rid of Tony right now and replacing him with Ray. I'm replacing him with Ray. There we go. Okay, and let me see here. I think we're okay now. There we go. There we go. Back to the back. We don't have a full house anymore.
No. Oh, wait a minute. 8. Yes, you do.
No, that's not a full house.
4, 8, 10. Yeah.
No.
I'm looking at the.
There are 9. There are 9.
Oh, Tony.
Yeah, Tony.
Yeah, we just got rid of Tony.
10 minus 1 is
Tony
9.
had to go out and smell carbon monoxide.
Yeah, my iPad is sometimes I'm not seeing everybody.
Well, we don't care.
Yeah, but
when are you going back home? When are you back in California?
tomorrow night. I'll be on a plane for tomorrow's show. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, gee. Everybody, big sigh of awe.
Hey, last time, if I could get the internet on the plane, I can call in.
There you go.
Yeah. Try that internet on the plane. It really works well.
Well, it worked that afternoon. I called you, and just later in the trip, it didn't work.
Yeah. But I don't know what kind of throughput they have on the plane, but I'm sure it isn't high bandwidth.
No, it's called they call it go-go something.
Huh? What were you saying?
Dan's got his hand up.
I just was waving my hand because I didn't want to forget. Didn't you say that you were gonna do a Jimbo Hannon show tomorrow?
No, I decided not to.
Decided
not to. Yeah.
You should call in.
No, because I'm doing this show while that show is on.
So do that while you're doing this.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
No, but he didn't want to do a phone in. He wanted me to go down to CBS on 57.
We'll just be real quiet and not say anything. I promise.
But anyway, so I mean,
you know where the toilets are at CBS.
You know how I feel about it. If I went down there, I would get off at midnight, and then we would go out and we go to like Chinatown and get some food and stuff. And I'm an old guy; I got to go to sleep. You know.
You don't up till 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah. Well, I'm up till 2 or 3 in the morning, but I'm not active. You know. So. Plus, that would mean I would have to get out of the house. So.
Yeah.
Why is he? Oh, he's punching up the things on the cycle. Yes, Ray.
You're muted, Ray.
You're muted, Ray. Ray.
Okay.
He can't hear you.
No, can't hear you.
Still muted.
He's still muted.
He's on the bike.
Well, come on, use your acting. Be a mime. What? We can't hear you.
Nah, his microphone's dead.
Yeah.
Did you just
Oh no! You don't have to go away. Just keep pedaling. You know. It
sounds like
makes for good video. Anyway,
Smells like.
but so getting back to the whole impeachment thing.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
He's talking about Trump again.
Getting back to the whole impeachment thing, I just, I understand what you're saying, Charlie, and I do understand that people shouldn't feel they can get away with this kind of behavior.
Yeah.
But
Right.
there's the political consideration, and I think what the Democrats have to do is spend their time making their case, and making a good one and presenting it to the American public. And allow, the best thing the Democrats could do, and that would cut off Trump's water, would be to ignore him completely. It would drive him crazy.
They can't do that.
Nobody can do that.
Well, but he plays them like a well-tuned violin.
Absolutely.
That's because they are.
We didn't ask for your opinion on this, Phil.
It's all right, Phil.
Because you don't have to state your opinion every time. We pretty well know what it is, Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the audience has to.
Oh yeah, like this
The
audience
audience
doesn't know.
knows.
Tonight we've been getting very large audiences for the video lately. It seems to be jumping up. Yeah.
Ray knows.
Yeah.
What are you laughing about, Al?
Ray, I'm watching Ray.
Oh, Ray?
Yeah. All the gestures.
I wish you people were watching this on video. You'd see what we're talking about. Ray is making all kinds of fun little faces and stuff like that,
He's cracking me up.
Yeah.
You got a club with other people that are watching what he's doing?
Some people are just listening. But
yeah,
we have more people who view this now than actually listen to the audio. The audio.
Yeah. If you had a second computer or another phone, you could see it on YouTube. And other than the Skype, you could actually see it on YouTube.
There is some way I could return the Skype, the screen that I've got here to all you people to see, but I don't know how to do it. I know how to. And
is that
I know how to activate it, but I don't know how to activate it into Skype, so that you could then, what you would be seeing is the exact screen that I'm putting out. So
I know.
That's just one more thing I have to learn. Oh, Ray Renati's calling back. He had a problem, but he's back again.
Talk time.
Wait a minute. What's the problem with? All of a sudden we got.
Sorry.
What? Okay. We can
I
hear
love the
Ray.
valley.
Ray, say something.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, I just plugged my mic back in. Something was wrong. It's on a dongle.
Oh, that'll do
iPhone
it.
dongle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
All
what.
right.
Because
I'll
we're
turn it off so I'm not noisy.
right. Where were we? Oh yeah. So I mean, I understand what you're saying, Charlie. I mean, do we let somebody get away with this? This man has been making a mockery out of the presidency. He doesn't respect the office. And it's one thing to be a maverick and to be different and to do all kinds of things and to say that he's different than other people, all right? And it's something else to say he's just disrespecting the office completely, and that's what he's doing. It's very sad. Oh, by the way, now we can see your face, Dan, because the light isn't obscuring you. See, that way the light obscures you, but when you're lying down, we can see your face.
Well, I'm just trying to get in a comfortable spot.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, listen. Look at Al. Take your shirt off, just like Al. Come on.
You want me to take my shirt off? Let's all take our shirts off.
Sure, why not?
Let's just all do the show naked.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Everybody can see my man boobs.
Well, hey, we could have a dick measuring contest. How about that?
I wonder. I always used to. Dan, I always used to win those, but I don't know if I would anymore. It's as time goes on, things change. Yeah.
Oh my.
Well,
I mean, let's be honest about it. I mean, I often said to myself, I look in the mirror and go, well, you're not that good looking. And you're kind of goofy looking, in fact, and you're not the biggest guy when it comes to wooing people, wooing women. But thank God I got a big dick. That was what I always said. So I thank God for that.
Thank God you got a big
Yeah.
Oh wow.
The guy bobbing up and down, in case you're watching the show, is Ray Renati, world famous actor. He has those actor looks, doesn't he?
Yeah. Very attractive.
Yeah.
Mr. Hollywood.
It's funny. What's funny though, wait until you get the parts that I heard about. Bubbles and Will are in a movie together that they're making up north in California. I can't remember where. And it's only like a one-day shoot for Bubbles, but it's a big part for Will. And I said, so what part are you playing? And he said, a character called Gramps. And I went, how do you feel about that? that you got the part, but guess what? The good news is you got the part. The bad part is you're playing Gramps. Alex is the Milton Berle of radio, man. I got to tell you a story. You know the story about Milton Berle.
Yeah.
You have to fold it in half.
That he had no, that wasn't the line at all, Phil.
Yeah, well,
just
enough to win was the line.
He
right?
and I think it was Sonny Tufts was the other actor, and they were both arguing about who had the biggest dick. And finally, Berle said, "Well, just whip it out, and then I'll bring out just enough to win."
Yeah.
So I'm interviewing Berle. He comes to the studio, and I'm interviewing Berle. I wish I had the interview here. I don't have it. If anybody has it out there, please get it to me, because there are people out there who recorded every show I ever did. And I said at one point to Berle in the interview, I said, listen, Milton, I said, I do this morning show, and we're a little ribald and things like that. And I said, if I didn't ask you a certain question, this audience would hold it against me. And he said, it's true. And I said, okay, that's all I wanted to know. But supposedly he had the biggest dick in Hollywood.
Another guy that had a Playboy was Porfirio Rubirosa. And Porfirio Rubirosa.
Yeah, we all remember Porfirio Rubirosa, whose name you can't even pronounce. There's another name you can't pronounce.
I don't know who he
I'm
is.
surprised you got through the Porfirio.
He was a Playboy, and he used to sell passports in Spain to Jews. He had something to do with that, and he hung around with rich women. And the story in Hollywood was that he had a large schwanz.
You mean dick?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know? Wait a minute. Ray has his hand up. Yes, Ray.
Well, the biggest actually was Dick Smothers. He had the biggest.
Really?
Do you get it? Dick Smothers.
Yeah.
Dick Smothers.
Yeah.
It's a play on words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's French humor.
Anyway, you know who I heard has the biggest penis in movies today?
Yeah.
Is Liam Neeson.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I hear. I hear things.
Yeah.
In the immortal words of Donald Trump, people say,
Many people.
Many people. I love how he always says, well, some people agree with me. Or many people agree with me. How many is many?
Enough to get him elected.
10?
Yeah. I like that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Somebody, I read an article
base.
about somebody who's been studying everything that Trump has written and said, and when he says
think he could write.
what?
I didn't think he could write.
No, but he tweets and so on. He said that you can tell when Trump is lying when he talks about the other person referring to him as sir.
Right, I saw that too.
You see that? Yeah.
When
Is that his tell?
That's his tell. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So when he did that whole thing about, he came to me and I said, well, how many people would get killed if we dropped the bombs and whatever? He said, well, sir. Well, he said he's probably lying because he used the sir.
They're military. They all call him sir. He's the commander-in-chief.
Yeah, but you know something? I don't think if I were relating the story, I would add the sir. Okay? I would only be doing that if I wanted to impress people.
Not necessarily. He's just relating it the way he heard it.
And don't use this excuse for every bullshit thing he does as being, well, it's Donald Trump.
He's the commander.
Well,
They
come
call
on.
him
Come
sir.
on.
Yes, sir.
Don't
Yes, Mr.
don't
President.
hold it against him. Think about it. He's Hitler. Okay? And Hitler does this kind of stuff.
He's not Hitler, but he wishes he was.
You guys are amazing.
Listen, I knew Hitler, and he's no Hitler. Yeah.
That's true.
Well, hey, there are big differences between Hitler and Trump. For instance, Hitler served in the military. Okay, so
Yeah, he was a corporal.
yeah.
Well, you know what the difference between the Ku Klux Klan and Trump supporters are?
No.
The Klan's headgear is made in America.
Yeah.
No, actually, the real hat that I bought from the Trump website is made in America.
Well, there are plenty that weren't. I mean,
Those
there's
are the phony
pictures of them,
ones
so.
that got counterfeited by the Chinese that were sending it over here for a quick buck. But that all stopped when he put the tariff on the hat.
Oh, by the way, the biggest guy, but the other guy with the big dick who went up against Milton Berle was Forrest Tucker. He supposedly had a huge dick as well.
Patrick got his hand
Yes,
up.
Patrick.
With the Trump hat, the ugly one that only Trump can wear because of that hair, those are in the USA. The ones that look like regular ball caps that fit people, those are the ones made in China. So if you see the ugly, oversized Elmer Fudd one, those are USA. All the rest of them are China, Malaysia, Singapore.
But those other ones aren't available on his website. Those are only available on the internet.
This
eBay
one was
or
made in
something.
the USA. No, it's made. It was
In
made
China.
in China.
Yeah, the USA of China.
Huh?
It's probably made in Indonesia.
Let me see here. Does it
Chinese
say
hat.
here at all?
It would say People's Republic of China or PRC.
.ru.
PRC is
Oh,
usually how they
here it is.
abbreviate it.
Made in China.
Oh.
It says. Yeah. I bought it in China. Better be made in
And
China.
it says it in English?
Yeah.
Why would it say made in China in English if you bought it
Because
in
they
China?
know the only people that are going to buy it are people like me, or tourists. So, yeah.
A badge of honor.
Yeah. What a comfortable looking bunch. Look at Al. He's lying down and Dan is reclining. And,
Patrick and I are the only two sitting in chairs.
Yeah, well,
It is Ray Renati.
Unfortunately,
Ray is making me tired.
He's like a metronome.
Landscape,
so
Al.
hard.
Landscape, please. Landscape.
Yes, as soon as I get out of there, I go. There you go.
Yeah. I hate
Well, if he goes into portrait, we'll see his chest.
Oh, for God's sakes. Are you not interested, Bill?
No.
Okay,
No, the
good.
fact is, you don't see any more you see less with portrait than you do with landscape.
Well, not if you're
If he turned to
it's the body.
turn to landscape, and you won't see anything different except to just his face. There we go. See what I'm
Oh,
saying?
okay, yeah.
See what I'm saying?
It's not doing like it does on TV where you got things on the side.
Well, they put things on the side because that's the way. The networks would love it if everybody would shoot landscape, and then when they got the news footage, it would fill the whole screen. These people think that that's the way you're supposed to hold it. That has never been a ratio.
They should put things on a phone to make it comfortable to hold it in landscape. Maybe indentations for your finger or something.
Oh, I don't know that it's difficult at all. Look at that. I do that.
It's tiring.
It is a little tiring. I can attest because I'm doing it right now.
Me too. My hand is like, oh my god, I'm switching hands.
But
now.
you can get yourself a selfie stick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god, I'm not that vain.
In fact, you can go to the Apple store, and you can get for about $150, you can get a gimbal for the iPhone.
For $5,
so it's smooth.
I could get a little attachment.
Mm-hmm.
What I do is I put this bottle behind the phone.
Yeah.
And I lean the phone against the bottle.
Really?
And that way it stays horizontal.
I'm gonna change mine.
Okay, I put on my
there
arm.
we go. There we go. You got it. You see, but you have that light up above you now. We can't see her.
That's Phil's light.
You're silhouetted.
Where are you?
I'm in Denver.
Oh, okay. I was going to say you're not in Continental Village. I can come up and.
Somebody just wrote here.
I haven't been there in a long time.
Matt Crash said, "Whatever happened to Renee? Has anybody heard from Renee?
Yeah.
Has anybody heard from her?
No. Patrick used to.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried to see. She's not. I don't think she has a Facebook page anymore.
No.
It's been since the first of the year that we haven't heard from her.
Maybe she fell in the volcano.
Yeah, it could be. Let me see here. Let me go to Facebook and let me put in Renee Collins. By the way, did you see the picture I have of me on Facebook?
Yeah. Yeah, the young picture, young Alex.
It's called Face. It's called Face App.
Face App.
Oh, that one, the Russian bot thing.
Yeah.
I heard that's Russian hacking software.
Yeah.
Huh?
So now they got all your information.
Do I give a shit?
Well, you should say what Larry Bubbles says.
Right. Now they have no life.
Yeah, right.
It's really quite convincing, to be very honest with you.
It looked like you were 150 years old. It's supposed to have 50 years.
Rode hard.
Yeah. I'd show people the picture, but there's no way I can take it off of here. But if you go to my Facebook page, you can see.
Do it, Phil. Do it.
All right. Yeah. I got to get over there.
But the thing is, the app is done by the Russians.
Yeah.
And everybody's complaining, they can steal your photos and so on and so forth. And they have told people that they only hold on to the photos for upwards to 48 hours. And they have a thing that is in their terms of usage that says, well, we can use these photos for anything we want, anywhere we want, at any time we want. And everybody's complaining about that, saying, see, the Russians are out to get us. That's the same terms of usage that Facebook has and that YouTube has.
They copied it right over.
Well, yeah, the reason they do that is it's to prevent them from liability. If somehow the picture winds up...
Do you believe the Russians are only going to keep it for a couple of days? Do you really believe that?
Phil, why do they want a picture of me? Why?
Well, they don't necessarily want
For
you.
people who can't see... Oh, I know how I can show it.
I got it. There you go.
There it is.
Well, here, I can even show it
Let me see if
better.
I
Wait a
can
minute.
do it
Hold
this
on
way.
a second. Here we go. Hold on, folks. Here we go.
You took it in portrait
There's my picture, folks. That's the one we're talking about. I just remembered I can put a screen on here.
That was with Face App. I thought you just took a picture of yourself today.
Really?
Oh, fuck you.
You got to work on your neck a little.
Yeah, but it's a great
I'm
little...
sorry, I had to do it.
It's a fun little program, but then when I asked it to do a young me, it didn't. It wasn't able to do it. It did it, but didn't even look like me. Okay.
Now, what would happen if Will Durst did this? Would it kind of make him look younger?
What do you mean?
Well, Will Durst already has an older look with the bag. He has a lot of bags under his eyes.
Well, how about me?
Well, you're almost 80 years old. Will Durst is what, 60?
I mean, the only thing I didn't have to put in this picture were bags under my eyes because they're already there.
Oh, do you customize it or does it do it for you?
No, you don't customize it. It just does it for you.
I see.
So you take any picture you have of yourself and then you do it. And if the Russians want to steal that, go ahead, have a good time.
Now on Fox News, they were playing around with this app this morning, and they said that if you use a professional photo, it doesn't age you as much as if you use one that is just a normal snapshot.
I'd have to check that out. I don't know.
Well, because they were doing it with several of the people on Fox, and playing around with it, showing them before and after, and they said that the professional photos didn't change as much as ones that were not professionally taken.
Well, it's the most popular app on Apple.
Everybody's doing it.
Well, it's going to help with the election in 2020. Now that you've got that app secretly on your phone, that's going to how they're going to get all the bots to hit everybody.
I see.
Think about it.
I'll think about it. Hold on a second. Okay, I thought about it. Anyway.
All right, so I'm right.
Let me see here. Is there anything else in the news that we haven't, since
probably
Trump dominates it every day, He was supposed to give a speech somewhere tonight, and he probably was.
Yeah, he did. He doubled down, of course, on the racist comments. He was like, "Yeah, they should leave," and the chant is now, "Make her leave, make her leave." That's what those crazy supporters are saying now.
Well,
so.
I don't like. I've never liked the idea. What is that noise all of a sudden?
Netflix subscriber growth stalls. They stumble in effort to annex the world's eyeballs. That's.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Somebody's making noise. Somebody has their audio on.
Oh, it's got an air compressor.
Oh,
sorry, my thing went on. I didn't realize it.
Sorry.
Here's a headline.
Well, wait a minute. Netflix has stalled in its subscriptions. What?
Yeah.
At 5 billion? I mean, come on.
That's the headline. Man ties up wife's lover, cuts off penis. Deputies say. All right.
Oh, cool.
Well, how can you believe a deputy?
Yeah. Cops. Man stole 18 cars in 24 hours.
Oh, wait a minute. I'll get back to the Netflix thing.
All right. Let me go to that.
Wait a minute. How many? If they're stalled, what are they stalled at?
Let me get to the thing. Here it is.
Yeah.
Okay. This is on Yahoo, I think. It's downloading the. Bloomberg opinion. Optimistic scenario about Netflix goes like this. Company is wise to spend like mad to create new generation entertainment. Yada, yada. Netflix lost paying customers in the U.S. during the second quarter for the first time in years after it increased prices on its most popular plan to $13 a month from $11.
Yeah.
The results show that there are limits to how much Netflix can raise people's bills. So you were right when you were talking about that a couple of months ago about the raise that you got. Your Netflix bill went up.
Yes, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I guess they lost viewers.
Yes, Dan.
Subscribers.
Also, you got Disney Plus is coming up, I think, by the end of the year. Warner Brothers going to have their own streaming thing. So they're going to be nickel and diamonds,
Well, okay.
I mean, we got to be choosy about our
first of all,
dollars.
Somebody said this about Netflix, that like they're losing Friends, they're losing The Office to all these other owned and operated things. And somebody said it's not going to hurt Netflix at all because there's so much on Netflix.
Yeah.
The people just say, well,
Yeah.
I won't watch Friends. I'll watch something else. I'll watch Luther or I'll watch something else, So it's not like it's a done deal that because they don't have these items, also they're producing their own material. They're producing television shows all around the world, So they've got a lot of material. Yes, yes, Dan.
Oh, speaking of that, I just found out that they cleared Kevin Spacey of the charges.
Yeah.
So maybe he'll come back and do House of Cards again.
No, nobody, to begin with, he's been tarnished for life, okay? Even if they never find him guilty of anything. I mean, Harvey Weinstein has yet to go to trial, and quite frankly, I think Weinstein's going to skate.
I think so, too.
Yeah. And what happens when he skates? Everybody say, okay, you can start making movies again in Hollywood. No.
Yeah.
No, he's done.
Yeah, that's right. I was just be kidding around.
Yeah. I mean,
he's done.
I do feel sorry for certain people who were in that first wave and got caught up in that first wave, like, what's his name, my comedian friend? Louis C.K.
Louis C.K.
Who was, he was in that first wave, and what did he do? He asked some women, do you mind if I pull out my penis? And nobody said no, so he pulled it out.
Hey, who was the guy that was at that award show and they had something about the Me Too? No, it wasn't Al Franken. It was at an award show.
Yeah.
And they accused him, and he just outwardly just said, I didn't do it. He didn't apologize.
Yeah, who was? Oh, you mean it was a comedian?
No, it was an actor. It wasn't McConaughey. It was somebody like him.
Well, all the people who later on got accused of stuff did not suffer the consequences the early ones did.
No.
If Louis C.K. had been outed, I don't know, a year later, he'd still have his TV shows and everything else. It was just he was in that first wave. And this is a guy that deserves to be working. He's really
Al
good.
Franken was the real first wave.
Al Franken, he was kind of a political first wave.
Yeah, that was it. Political.
It was that cunt. What's her name? Gillibrand, who did.
Now she's not bad looking.
Yes, she is.
She's more my type.
I mean, that was a case of eating our own. I mean, here was the most liberal left wing of all the senators. And she just forced him out, because she wanted to look good. And
she wanted to run for president.
Yeah. How's that going for her?
Yeah, 0%.
Well,
yes, Dan. Yes, Dan.
Yeah. I mean, Kirsten Gillibrand would have a lot going for her. I think she talks well. She has a good presentation, but she's not doing nearly as well as she could be. And I think that Al Franken thing really hurt her.
Yeah,
she needs to make her.
She'd have a chance. She'd have a serious chance. She might be up there with Harris and Warren if she hadn't done that.
The only reason Harris climbed is that she ate Biden for lunch. She served.
I thought you meant something sexual.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just tired of the wishy-washiness of the Democrats. Let's do something. I want to
vote for Trump.
I don't want to the centrist whammy-pamby Bill Clinton stuff.
Before we go, I would like to say that the comment of the night to me that just slipped by everybody was when Phil said the only two of us sitting straight up are Patrick and myself, and all I could think of was, Patrick doesn't have a choice, Phil.
I know. That's why. I don't have a choice. There's only one chair here.
You could slouch if you want to. Patrick doesn't have a choice.
I could if I want to.
And yet he's there, and he does his thing, and every now and then...
Patrick can slouch just as good as the next
Some
guy.
nights he's quiet, and some nights he can't shut him up.
Here.
Anyway. And, of course, then there's always Scott Boddicker, who, since the beginning of the show, has barely said anything. Right, Scott? Yeah, right.
There he is.
Anyway, there's our theme song, ladies and gentlemen. our ever popular theme song. Gee, you know, I just turned on my camera. You can't see my camera yet. And I just looked, and I looked like the photo that was redone here. SpaceX. This is as good as it gets, folks. This is what 79 looks like, you know.
You need a little makeup.
Well, comrades, I may not be calling tomorrow, so it's a safe zone for you.
Well, we certainly will look forward to that. Anyway,
Yeah.
I want to thank Scott for being here. And I want to thank Charlie for being here. Charlie, you're great. I want to thank Phil. I want to thank Jeff. I want to thank Patrick. I want to thank Al. I want to thank Ray, and I want to thank Dan. See, I got everybody. How about that? Why don't you all wave goodbye, and I'll wave goodbye back to you, okay? There they go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our citizen panel for tonight. And I got to turn off the phone here because up next is the intersection with Jack Bishop, and he needs to use the same phones. And you should call him, by the way. Why not? Anyway, I'm Alex Bennett. I'm just stalling a little bit because I actually started to get off early here. Anyway, let me just say this. We'll be back again tomorrow night. There's no Damien. He's away for about 3 weeks. So we'll be back again at 10 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her. Okay? Bye-bye, everybody.